Okay. Hello, welcome to yoga. Today we are going to be looking at working on the core and we're going to be playing into some kind of stability as well. So this is going to be good. So we're going to play around with some balancing poses. So let's get seated. Let's do that. Let's start seated. If you've got a block, use a block. If you haven't, that's okay too. We just want to be nice and comfortable in our space. So sitting up nice and tall, allowing those knees to drop down. If it's uncomfortable, if you're quite tight through the hips, then pop some blocks underneath the knees just to give you that little bit of extra support. Thinking about moving the fleshy part of the bum out of the way and finding the bony bits. Find the sit bones and ground them down. Okay, so we're going to sit up nice and tall, thinking about shoulders being stacked over the top of the hips. We're just going to lightly engage the core, so thinking about just wrapping those ribs in, okay? Going to take the hands down to wherever is comfortable. Mine rests nicely on my knees, maybe yours don't. Take a moment just to inhale, bring the shoulders up towards the ears. As you exhale, just roll them back down again, okay? So this is where we want them to be. This is probably where they are. So let's take another inhale, bring those shoulders up towards the ears, and then just roll those shoulders back down again. Okay. We're going to start with some even breathing just to bring ourselves into the practice, okay? So we're going to forget everything that's happened before now, just going to be here. It's pretty special. Okay, so if you want to close off the eyes, do. I would encourage you to do that, but some people don't like it. I'm just going to simply breathe in for 4, out for 4, in for 5, out for 5, in for 6, out for 6, and then we'll come all the way back down again. If my breath pattern doesn't match yours, then do your own sweet thing. Okay, so here we go. Let's take an inhale for the count of 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Exhale, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale for 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Just allowing your breath to return to its normal pattern. With your eyes continuing to be shut, see if you can just find where you are in the space. Maybe you've started to just move forward a little bit. Can you just bring your torso back over the top of the hips? With your eyes closed, can you find an intention to work towards today? It could be about showing yourself some kindness. It could be about celebrating all of the great things that you know that you can achieve throughout class. It could be about focusing in on all of the great things you can do, forgetting about the things that you perhaps find a little bit harder. Whatever it is, just visualize it in your mind's eye. Okay, from here, we're going to take an inhale. We're going to lift the arms high above the head, reach them up. Up to you whether you want to keep the eyes closed or if now is a good time to open them. Take a gaze up towards the ceiling, open through the throat. Take another breath here. On the exhale, release, take the right hand down and sweep that left arm over. Starting here, just take a nice little pulse as you begin to inhale and exhale, just finding space through that left side body. Okay, switching out, let's take the hands back up to the center, lifting up, take the gaze up towards the ceiling, allow the throat to open as the chin lifts up. Take a breath here. Take another breath here. On your exhale, release, take the left hand down, take that right arm over. Just a nice little pulse opening through that right side. See if you can keep that right sit bone anchored down so that you're really allowing that stretch to happen through that right side body. Okay, let's bring those arms back up. Taking the arms up, open through the throat. This time, as we take an exhale, take that right hand down, bring that right elbow in towards the body so we open through that right shoulder. Left arm is going to come over. This time, turn the chest towards the ceiling. Just a small movement, just opening that chest up towards the ceiling, finding a little bit more of an opening through that front body. Allowing that left shoulder just to roll back, making sure that you'd never feel pain in yoga, all about just working towards your edge. Okay, this time both hands come all the way up. Release, take the gaze up towards the ceiling, keeping control of the neck, but lifting through the chin. Exhale, left hand comes down, bring that left elbow towards the body, open through that left shoulder. Right arm comes over the top, starting to open the chest up towards the ceiling, rolling that right shoulder just back just a little bit. And then coming all the way back up. Let's switch those legs out. Okay, so we want to make sure that we're as even as we can be. Let's do a little bit of work through the spine. So from here, take those hands to the back of the head, open those shoulders so that we're thinking about those elbows to the opposite walls. Engage through the core. We're going to need the core. We're going to work through the obliques in a moment. So just taking that right elbow down, that left elbow lifts. Taking a moment here, just feeling into it. Use the strength through the obliques to come back up and then drop down to the left-hand side. Right elbow lifts. Coming all the way back to center. This time, touch into chest. Bring the elbows around the head, alongside the ears, and then just begin to round down through the spine. See if you can think about stacking each vertebral, and kind of stacking, not so much stacking, rounding through the vertebrae as you come down. Holding here just for a moment. Now we're going to stack. There we go. Coming all the way back up. Nice and slowly, no prizes for getting up first. From here, open the elbows out. This time, take the gaze up towards the ceiling. Lift through the chest ever so slightly, thinking about your seated cat-cow here. Okay, as we exhale, take the head back to neutral, bring the elbows in towards the body, taking the chin to the chest, and then starting to round down through the spine. Feel the stretch of the skin against the spine as you come down. Again, never feeling pain, finding what's comfortable. And then coming all the way back up as you stack each vertebrae. Open out those elbows, lift the gaze towards the ceiling, lift through the chest. Take a nice deep inhale here, feel the chest lift. And then as you exhale, let's come back, bring the neck back to neutral, and then just release here. We're going to take the block away from us, just pop it to one side. We're going to come straight over onto the knees, find yourself into a table pose. This is where some good core stuff happens, isn't it? Okay, so we're setting ourselves up nicely. We want our wrist creases parallel to the edge of our mat, shoulders stacked over wrists and hips over knees. All right, we're going to be loosely engaged here through the core, all right? So nothing too strenuous here, but we just want to make sure that the belly's not sagging and there's a big dip in the lower back. So we want to be secure through the core. We're going to take that right leg away, push through the heel, just pausing to find that stretch through the back of that right leg. Notice what's happened to the hips. If you find that you are all wonky now, you're moving over to that left side, just get those hips back in so that they're nice and level. So your core is playing a core part, terrible joke, so sorry, a key part to this, okay? So keep pushing through that right heel. This time we're going to then lift through the right leg. All that work is coming from the glute. We don't want it through that lower back. We want to make sure the core is supporting that back. Take the left arm away if you feel secure enough. That left arm reaches forward past that left ear and the gaze is looking down where the hands would be. If you're happy here, perfect. If you've got a little bit more, let's take it wide. Left arm comes wide and the right leg comes wide. Keep the body down the center line of your mat. Bring it back to center. Draw that right knee under, bend that left elbow to meet the right knee. That knee comes as far forward as possible. You want to feel that crunch through the abs and then send it away. Let's do it again. We're going to do it 2 more times. Take it nice and wide. Keep that right foot lifting. That glute is doing all of the work on that right side. Check the core is engaged. Come back to center. Right knee tucks under. Bring it forward. Left elbow comes towards right knee. Crunch it in. Send it away. Okay, last one on this side. Take it wide. Bring the body back to the center line. It will drift. Back to the center. Right knee comes under towards that left elbow. And then send it away. Okay, from here, take the left hand down, take the right knee down, take the feet together, take the knees as wide as the mat. Find a wide-legged child's pose. Take the bottom back onto the heels, walk the hands forward. Spider up through the palms, take the chest down, find that stretch through the shoulders, push into the fingertips to get the bottom back onto the heels, or as close as is comfortable. Take the forehead down to the mat if it feels good. Keep the neck nice and relaxed. Take some nice deep breaths here. Allow the belly to really hang between the thighs. This is your space to come to if it ever gets a little bit too much. No problem. You want to spend the whole class in child pose. Crack on. Nothing wrong with that. Okay, from here, let's come up. We're going to bring the knees back so that they're underneath the hips. We're going to come straight into a puppy pose. So walk those hands forward. The bottom is stacked over the knees. We're going to take the chest down towards the mat. Again, option here to spider up through the fingertips to bring the chest a little bit lower. Breathe here. If you find that the floor is just so far away from you, then use blocks or a cushion just to bring the floor up to you. Okay, if those fingertips are pushing into that on that right side, we're going to take that left arm, sweep it underneath the right, come to rest on top of that left shoulder. And then from here, if you would like to walk that right heel away from you, so start to extend through that right leg. Okay, push down through that right hand, bend through that right knee, place it back down, draw left arm back out, and then switch over. So from here, that right hand is going to slide underneath the left, come to rest on top of the right shoulder. Walk those left fingertips away, keeping the palms lifted if that is comfortable for you. And then if you're happy to extend through that left leg, then do. Keep thinking about pushing through the heel. Keep those hips level. Hanging out here. Okay. Bend back through that left knee, push down through that left hand, come back, find your table. Reset yourself, make sure you're in a good position. And then let's go again on the other side. So that left foot is going to extend, toes come down to the mat and push through that back heel. There's no front heel, it doesn't matter. Keep those hips nice and level. Check in with yourself. It's really easy to start to roll over because it just feels comfortable, our body gets lazy, we find the easy way out. So making sure that we're just checking in with ourselves. There's nothing wrong with finding the easy way out, but just noticing, like, you know, like your body hasn't pulled a fast one on you. Engage through the glutes so we can lift through that left leg. Check with the hips again, engage the core, make sure that dip in that lower back is really supported by your core. Right arm is going to come forward alongside the ear. You can hang here if you want. If you want a little bit more, let's take it wide. Keep that body down the center line. Keep that left leg lifting. That glute is working hard. Back to center. Left knee comes under. Right elbow comes to meet it. Bring that knee as far forward as you can. And then send it away again. Okay, let's take it wide. Keep pushing through that heel. Back to center, knee comes under, elbow comes to meet knee. Okay, and send it away. All right, last one, here we go. Let's make it count. Take it wide, body down the center line. Back to center, left knee comes under, meets that elbow. And away. Okay, from here, right hand's going to come down, left hand is going to come down. Okay, did someone say core? I think we're going to do some core. Let's tuck the toes, gauge through the belly, lift those knees. We're just hovering here, all right? From here, we're going to extend the right foot, left foot. Bring that right foot back in and that left foot back in your hovered table. Let's go on the other side. Left leg extends, right leg extends, left leg comes back in. Right leg comes back in. All right, another round. Here we go. Right leg comes away. Left leg comes away. Right leg comes in. Left leg comes in. The other side. Left leg goes away. Right leg comes away. Left comes in. Right comes in. All right. Let's take the knees down. From here, take a moment, find a narrow-legged child's pose. Bring the bottom back. From here, up to you, whether you want to keep the hands in front. I always like the way it feels through my shoulders. But if you want to take a more traditional child's pose, you can take the hands behind you, allowing the shoulders to come over the top of the knees. Feeling the pressure of the belly against the thighs as you breathe in. The release as you exhale. The palms facing up behind you, if that's where they are. The press of the belly on the inhale. The lightness as you exhale. Okay. From here, like a beautiful snail, let's see if we can just round up through the spine. Beautiful snails, okay? Take the hands down, just tuck those toes. I'm going to play around with a little bit of stability here. I'm going to just lift through those knees. Okay, if this is really challenging for you, then keep your hands down. Find a block or rest on a settee, cushion, whatever you need. All right, if you are happy to release, we're just going to take the hands to cactus arms, thinking here about opening through the chest. Draw the core in, wrap the ribs in so we're nice and secure, sinking those heels down, find that stretch underneath the feet. And then just allowing those shoulder blades to squeeze together as you open up through the shoulders and through the chest. Taking a breath. From here, if it's a little bit too much, take the hands back down and then tap out those toes for a moment. Oh. Krista, are you okay? Yeah. I think someone's been playing with the emojis. Okay, we're back in our table. All right, from here, let's tuck those toes, hover those knees, take the right foot back, take the left foot back. We're in plank. Let's set our plank up. It's really important that we do. Those wrist creases are parallel to the front of the mat. We push back with the heels. We think about the kneecaps, back of the knees lifting up towards the ceiling. The glutes are solid. Okay, we are pushing through the hands, the core is engaged. If this is too much for you, take down to the knees, absolutely fine. From here, we're going to take the right hand to the left shoulder, keep the hips level, lower down, left hand to right, and lower down, right to left, lower down, left to right, lower down. From here, bend at the knees, take the chest back towards the thighs, and then float the bottom up. Start to walk out those heels. Finding our first down dog, okay, so taking your time here, really walk through those heels, wiggle through the bottom, release through that lower spine, keep the neck relaxed, and then pause. So your downward facing dog should look like this. We want those elbow creases looking at one another, wrap those triceps round the arms, thinking about the chest moving towards the thighs. It doesn't matter if our legs are straight. What we want is a long spine. So if you find yourself super rounding in the spine, then bend through the knees to lengthen that spine out. I like a bend through the knees. I think it really gets into my hamstring and into my calves. From here, let's take the right leg high. Lift through that right leg. Three-legged dog. Open through the hips. Drop that right foot back towards the bottom. Squeeze the glutes and push the hips forward. Take a breath here. Okay. From here, take that right foot through the hands. Pausing in our, I want to say a high-low lunge. Hands are connected to the mat. Take a moment to move through the hip space. Entirely up to you how you spend your time here. Moving through that hip space, seeing what feels good. And then when you're ready, we're going to come up into a high lunge. So thinking about the feet being on train tracks rather than on a tightrope, so we've got some security here. Keeping those hips facing the front, bending into that right knee. Nice strong back leg, push back through that back heel, strong through the core. Okay, going to play around just a little bit here. So we're going to lift into that right leg. So starting to lift, taking flight into that right leg. We're going to move into a warrior three. So starting to lift through that back leg, which means we want to keep the hips level. Draw the left hip down, squeeze that left glute, lift through the left leg. Maybe the hands come behind you. If you want a little bit more work for the core, take the hands out in front of you. Embrace the wobbles through that right ankle. We are building our balance right now. If it gets a little too much, take a bend into that right knee. From here, take the hands to the hips, come all the way back up, keep that left leg lifted, draw that left knee up, okay? So knee and hip are level. Can we take that left knee out towards the left side? Maybe we take the hands away. Maybe we take the gaze over the right fingertips. Keep that core switched on. Head back to center. From here, can we take that knee back to center? Can we take that knee over towards the right side? Take that right hand to the outside of that left knee. See if we can start to take the gaze over that left shoulder. There's a lot going on. Coming all the way back through center. Take those hands to the hips again. Take an inhale. Think about lifting, lengthening. Exhale, take a large step back, find your high lunge. Pretty slick, impressed. Okay, take the hands down to the mat. From here, right foot's going to come back to join the left. Just pedal out those heels. Moving through the heels, wiggling through the bottom. Why? Because it feels good. Pause in your down dog. Check that you are back where you should be. Wrap those triceps around, really draw the chest towards the thighs. Take a nice deep bend into the knees if you need to send the sit bones towards the ceiling. And then anchor that right foot towards the mat. Left leg is going to lift. Now open through the hips. Left foot comes down towards the bottom. Squeeze the glutes, push the hips forward. Okay, this time that left foot is going to come through the hands. Let's come up into our high-low lunge. And then start to move through that hip space. Again, entirely up to you. Do what feels good. Just moving through that space, maybe little circles, maybe a rock from side to side. Your choice, your moves. And now from here, coming up into our high lunge. Check you're on your train tracks. Bend through that front knee, push back into that back heel. Nice strong back leg. Ribs are wrapped in. We are strong. Okay. From here, we're going to come into our warrior three. So taking that weight into that left leg, beginning to lift through the right leg. As we do, we then start to hinge at the hips. Notice that right hip lifts. Draw the right hip down. Keep the hands to the hips so that you can check where you are at. All right, we want to look like a capital T. Taking the hands behind you. If you want a little bit of core work, take the hands in front of you. Keep that right hip level with the left. It's really tempting to let it lift. Hands come back to the hips. Come all the way up. Bring that right leg under, bend through the knee, lift. That right knee is in line with the hip. If you come out, go back in, nothing lost. Okay, so standing nice and tall, always thinking about that length of the spine in yoga. Okay, from here, we're going to extend that right leg comes out towards the right side. Try and keep those hips level. Ooh, apparently I'm not as stable here. Take the arms away. Maybe gazing over the left fingertips. Interesting to note the differences between one side and the other. Maybe it's the way you cross your legs. Maybe you always stand with one leg bent. Just noticing. Okay, gaze comes back to center, knee comes back to center. This time round, we're going to bring that right knee over to the left side. Left hand's going to come to the outside of that right knee. Start to draw the chest round. Maybe gazing over that right shoulder. Keeping breathing. Coming all the way back through center. Hands come to hips. Take one more inhale, lift, lengthen, feel strong. And then right leg comes back, find your high lunge one more time. Okay, we can windmill those arms over, take the hands down, that left foot comes back to join the right, pedal out those heels. All right, from here, just a little bit of fun core work. So finding your down dog, we're going to do a little bit of work through right knee to right elbow, then to left, then back to right. Okay, so you know where we're going. So from here, let's take the weight towards the hands, finding your plank. Take that right knee to right elbow, to left elbow, to right elbow or higher. And then let's take that right leg to three-legged dog. Okay, let's go two more here. That right knee is going to come forward towards the right elbow, nice and high. Left elbow, nice and high. Right elbow. Back to your three-legged dog. Last one on this side. Right knee, right elbow. Left elbow, right elbow. This time, slide that right knee down. Take the foot down. We're going to find a pigeon. So keeping the hands down, just take a moment here just to find what feels good through the hip space. If this doesn't feel good, you can take a reclined pigeon, so you can be on your back, just cross over one of those legs and then bring it back. So taking that left knee down and untuck the toes, we want to keep those hips level. So if you've got a block, pop it underneath that right butt cheek if you know that you're going to kind of plonk down onto that right side. Okay, so here, just thinking about those hips being nice and level, thinking before we start to dip the chest of that inhale, lengthen through the spine, bring that chest forward. Imagine the belly button moving forward. We don't want to crunch into the lower spine, so we're always thinking about finding that movement. And then when you're ready, start to walk those hands forward, either coming to rest on the forearms, make a little pillow with the hands, you can rest the forehead down, whatever feels good for you. Wherever you get to, if you don't like it, then just come back out of it. Okay, so just breathing into this space. Really good to start to take that kind of that reflection of the body, thinking about how your body is feeling. If one side, you'll have a comparison in a moment, feels better than the other. Sending some breath towards the hips, an area that works so hard for us. Maybe a good time to revisit your intention. Focusing in on all of those things that your body has been able to achieve today. Okay, starting to come back up again. Putting the hands down, then tucking under the back toes. Engage that core for some stability, lift through the back knee, and then find your down dog. Right foot joins left. Pedal out those heels. Okay, and now let's go again on the other side. That left knee is going to come high on that left elbow to the right side, to the left side, push back into a three-legged dog. Okay, two more, here we go. Left knee, left side, right elbow, left elbow, and three-legged dog. Last one, left knee, left elbow, right elbow, left elbow. This time, slide that knee down behind the left wrist, and the foot comes down somewhere around that right wrist. Keep that back knee lifted just for a moment, move into that hip space. So if you were living in a very flexible body, perhaps your shin is parallel to the front of the mat. If you're living in a not so flexible body, your knee could be anywhere. Your shin could be anywhere, I should say. So it's just whatever feels good for you. Take the back knee down, untuck the toes. Be mindful at this point of where the hips are. We want the hips level. That's what we're aiming for. So what usually happens is if the shin is further back, then we start to rock over to that other side. So pop something, a cushion or a block underneath that butt cheek to keep you nice and level. And then up to you. You can stay up. You can come down to the forearms. We'll make a little pillow with the hands. And just use this time just to start to breathe into that hip space. Now you have a bit of a comparison, noticing between one side and the other. Does one side feel a little bit more challenging than the other? Are you gripping through the knees or the butt cheek? I should say, not just one. Maybe the teeth are gripping. Just noticing these things doesn't even mean that you have to change them. It's just about having the presence of mind just to notice. Okay, from here, removing any props that might be in the way, slowly making your way back onto the hands. Going to tuck the back toes, lift the back knee, engage through the core so you're strong enough to push down through the hands. And then come back into your down dog. Start to pedal out those heels once again. Okay, take a nice deep bend into the knees, bring the chest back towards the thighs. Take a stretch here. Okay, from here we can step the feet forward and then just rock back onto the bottom. Okay, so, oh gosh, it's a lot further away than I thought. We're going to pop a block between the knees. We're going to do that so we can squeeze that block and then activate the inner thigh. So these adductors are really working, all right? You know where we're going. We're going to sit up nice and tall. We're going to make sure that that core is engaged. Find the bony parts of the bottom so that you really have some grounding down. Okay? From here, we're going to lift through the feet. Squeeze that block. We're going to take the hands over to the right side. We're going to do some Russian twists. We're going to come to the other side, okay? So thinking here, all the while bringing chest to thighs. I'm just going to count you for 10. We'll take a rest. We'll do another 10. All right, so here we go. But slowly. For 1, for 2, for 3, keep the chest lifted. For 4, squeeze the block. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Drop the feet down. You can move the block, bring the forehead to the knees. Just start to allow, or give yourself a hug together, but start to push against the spine to round through the spine. Just decompressing, taking a breath here. We're nearly done. Feels good. Should be proud of yourself right now. Okay, coming out of your little ball, take the block between the knees and squeeze. Sit up nice and tall, chest towards the thighs. When you're ready, lift through the feet. And let's go for another 10. Here we go. For 1, 2, 3, chest lifts. For 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Drop the feet, get rid of the block. We don't need it. Just bring those knees together. Give yourself a big hug. Allow yourself to round into the spine. Find that stretch across the shoulders and the skin as the spine pushes against it. Okay, and then from here, just bringing yourself, shuffling yourself down a little bit. We're just going to bring the back down to the mat. We're going to find ourselves in a shoulder stand to finish because it will feel great. Okay, and it should make us look younger, something about rejuvenation, okay? So from here, just be mindful that the neck stays straight. So always taking the gaze down the center line of the body, don't look at the screen, okay? So from here, just thinking about engaging the core and bringing the knees up towards the chest. When you're ready, just bring those knees above the chest, allow the hands to support the lower back. And this might just be enough for you. If you want a little bit more, then start to extend the legs. It's a shoulder stand, so the weight is not in the neck. Okay, the weight should be in the upper arms and the shoulders. Really squeeze the glutes and strengthen through those legs to reach the toes towards the ceiling. All of the weight should be, you know, in the shoulders and the upper arms. Taking a moment, breathing, and then slowly bring the knees down towards the face with control. Releasing the hands, allowing yourself to come down onto the mat. This is a point where you need to do what your body needs. So for me, I like to just windscreen wipen my knees from side to side. That feels good for me. You might feel better bringing the knees in towards the body and hugging yourself together. Up to you, but making sure you're listening to what your body needs. Okay. When you're ready, we're going to make our way into our final Savasana. So walk those feet away. Allow yourself to find the length on the mat. If you've got any issues with your back at all, then just keep the knees bent. Maybe the knees come together. So just taking a place on your mat that is comfortable. If you don't like your hands down by the side of you, try a cactus arms or maybe the arms above the head. Just find a place you can just rest. And then just start to notice your breath again. The nice smooth inhales and exhales. So we're going to finish class today with a body scan. Just mindfully traveling through the body to notice what is going on. So starting off with the feet, noticing where they're pointing. Are they kind of relaxed in the ankles, or are the toes pointing towards the ceiling? If they are, just move through the toes a little bit. Reset yourself and allow those feet to drop to opposite corners of the mat. Taking a journey up the back of the legs, noticing the contact points between you and the mat. A little bit further up, we're over the kneecaps now, thinking about the work that the legs have done. The calves, the knees, the quads, the hamstrings, just thinking about that. And then we start to move towards the hips. Now, an area that we just expect so much from. We're going to take an inhale. As we take an inhale, think about filling the lungs full of air. And as you exhale, send that breath to the hips. We travel up the spine. On your next inhale, think about lengthening through the spine, almost growing taller on your mat. We'll make our way up to the shoulders, and then we travel down each arm, feeling the contact of the mat between the skin. Maybe noticing here where the fingertips are. Perhaps they're curled in. They surrendered, accepted the relaxation that they deserve. Making your way back up the arms to the shoulders and then climbing from the shoulder space up the neck, coming all the way to the crown of the head. Imagine that cord just lifting you, growing just a little bit longer. Take the journey over the forehead, between the eyes, over the nose, and we finally stop at the mouth. Noticing what's happened to the teeth. Maybe they're just slightly parted. Maybe the tongue's rolled back ever so slightly. Maybe you could gift yourself a little smile, knowing you've allowed yourself some time today. Start to focus in on that intention one more time. Whatever it was. Hold it there in the mind's eye. Take an inhale, a nice deep inhale. Feel the chest lift. As you exhale, sigh through the mouth, releasing. Try another. Take an inhale. Feel the lungs lungs. As you exhale, release through the mouth and sigh it away. This time on our inhale, lift the arms above the head, reach up. Nice big inhale, lifting through the chest. As you exhale, sigh it away. Feel a little bit shorter as you shrink on the mat. Now beginning to bring the awareness back to now. Start to move through the toes, through the fingertips. Wiggling, making any adjustments, moving, doing what you need to do. And then when you are ready, there is no rush. Make your way back to a seated position and I will be there.